All right, welcome back to Shark Week. This time we've got Julie Wade. Before I pass it off, let's take a quick look at the risk disclosure. Futures, foreign currency, and options trading contain substantial risk and is not for every investor. Julie Wade is a systems developer and independent software vendor for the NinjaTrader ecosystem. Julie's Bloodhound trading templates are constructed to detect repeatable patterns using higher time frame trend, lower time frame momentum, and linear regression. She provides an educational trade room 3 days a week to support customers with acclimating to the trading software and methodology.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Keith, so much. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. We'll probably have a light crowd today, considering that it's National Tequila Day here in the United States. And so I imagine quite a few of my traders are already at the favorite watering hole enjoying this National Tequila Day. Did y'all know that? Ha ha ha. If you're in my room, 4:30 comes awfully early. So as everything, moderation. Enjoy your tequila, but moderate, moderate, moderate. Thank you for coming out. Systematic quantitative trading. It's really um, a delight for me to be a part of this Shark Week and talk about Bloodhound and Blackbird. I think Jeremy Tang deserves an Academy Award for retail traders. He was one of the first programmers to develop products allowing retail traders to build their own strategies without coding. His GUIs are so simple to understand. It takes very little time to become proficient with creating trade signals and managing trades with the platforms. He designed this drag and drop logic board, and I think it's genius what he did. We're going to take a look at the Bloodhound and Blackbird logic board, and in a few minutes so that you can see these platforms and how to put together some logic using my indicators. So that it will be helpful I think, for you. I think a lot of you that are in here are already Bloodhound users. For those of you who are new, stick around because there's a fantastic sale going on for Blackbird that Shark Indicators is running, and I'm also giving a little sale price for the package of a Bloodhound with a new mini package that I've put together for you guys so that you can check out Bloodhound and Blackbird at very low cost. In fact, you'll be delighted when you see it. Blackbird was the last product that Jeremy completed, and when he released it for NT7, NinjaTrader released their NT8 platform, which was a total redesign of NinjaTrader's architecture. I can't even imagine the horror Jeremy must have felt after spending the better part of the last few years of his life mapping out and building a killer, trade design and management platform for NinjaTrader, and NinjaTrader goes and totally redesigns the architecture, right? I would have died, but he didn't, thank God, and he just went back to the drawing board and started over, figuring out the new architecture. So I'm very, very pleased to be affiliated with NinjaTrader. It's a fantastic platform. Thankfully, we have developers like Jeremy who are building these great add-on products for NinjaTrader, leveling the playing field for day traders is what most of us do. And so thank you very much, Jeremy. You've also got a great team over there at Shark Indicators, some of the best. You've got Zach White for being such a great trainer. He's given so much of his time to all of their customers to get them up and running with using these great products. He is an integral part of Shark Indicators, as well as Mike and Keith running the support over there. They're the backbone. You'll probably interface a lot with Mike and Keith. So great job, boys. Y'all can be very proud of what you have done, what you're building over there. I'm looking forward to being a part of this for the next few years. I've put together my systematic and quantitative system, so I'm looking forward to trading that as we go along. And I'm offering a educational trade room 3 days a week so that we can go over the strategy and using the system with the platform. So come join us, check it out, and hope to see you. Of course, as you know, going through the quick disclaimers, these webinars are for educational purposes. It's not an offer or solicitation of an offer to buy or sell securities. Futures trading is very risky, and please use risk capital when trading. And as always, past performance is not indicative of future results. And as the hypothetical performance disclaimer will tell you, we'll see some screenshots from earlier in the session that I'm going to show you, Blackbird. That does not mean that the market's going to behave like that tomorrow, but you know, you can't always bank on what you've seen in a screenshot to predict what's going to happen in the market going forward. So what is our today's presentation about? The systematic quantitative order entry type strategy I've put together. There's no doubt at all, and I've told you guys many times, very few traders are able to beat the market year after year. Our only job as retail day traders is surviving long enough to learn what we're doing and then make a great business out of this. So it's the greatest job in the world. We're going to find a lot of misinformation along the way and find very few nuggets of gold. On my journey, I just kept my head down, plugged along, building something of my very own that would stand up to the test of time and to the test of volatility. The market conditions change. And I ended up with this three-pronged approach that we've been using and put the final pieces of it together. I introduced it very recently, and I think it's really come together, and I'm so excited. And like I told you just a few minutes ago, I'm really looking forward to the next 10 years of trading this. I have plenty to do with what I have built. So I can't wait to show you my system. Some of you I see in the room for earlier with my trading approach, you'll be very pleased to see my progression. And it's a progression, it's a journey as you learn about how to put together systems and use these processes to develop trading strategies, how you formulate your system and how you go about placing orders in the market. And in fact, order entry is the last component. It's a third prong. You need to have the framework of the systematic process and the quantitative process and understand what you're doing those first two prongs before you should even go inside the market. You have no business putting an order on unless you have those first two sections down. And for the order entry, I did put together two indicators now, the linear regression trend lines indicator and the opening range indicator to give me some entry levels so that I could consistently and repeatedly take trades and complete my systematic quantitative process. So we've got the whole package together, and I'm delighted to show it to you. Let me see if I can get this going in the right direction. There we go. So I'm having a little bit of trouble there with the mouse. Systematic, that is the first prong, the first part of this process. It's a nucleus of the framework. My process is higher time frame trend. That's where a lot of you that joined me at the very beginning of this came in. I had higher time frame trend down, and we were just pretty much rocking and rolling with that. I have used momentum on one chart with that process. I have spread out the momentum now. I've got it on multi-time frames, 60, 15, and 5-minute chart. You'll see it on my market analyzer. And I've put the linear regression envelopes together. This system is on the NinjaTrader Market Analyzer, and why it works so well for us is the Market Analyzer is bar close false. So you're getting the information very fast in the market, even though it's on a daily chart or a weekly chart or a 60-minute chart. The signal comes in and lights up on the market analyzer. It wouldn't do so on your chart. You would have to wait for that candle to close to get the signal on your chart. But on the market analyzer, you can see it in real time. That's the beauty of this system that I've put together. And it is a process. It's a systematic process. So when all these components come together, the market analyzer lights up like a Christmas tree. It's going to be all red or green, make it very easy for us to go into the market and then try to take some profits out. So that takes us to our quantitative side. This is the new component that I've put together. I've added standard deviations for risk, profit target, ATR for risk, standard deviations for profit targets. So I'm carving out a custom RTH session, and then so I'll know what my time frame is in that morning session, what I can expect to get for a profit target. And then I break that out into 3 deviations, 1, 2, and 3, so that I can take sections of it. I'm looking for that PT1 right off the bat. And depending upon where price opens, if it's opening high outside, the range, um, we'll know what to do, where to trade to, and how much is left between 7:30 and the time that the market opens at 8:30. And it really has been helpful. It's just blowing our socks off. Every day we've been hitting that PT1. So it's really like completing the football field, as I call it. I've put the LRT lines indicator, you'll see all of this in just a second, that gives me the volatility range for that time frame. So I know where those out of bound areas are. But now I know how far to go for a profit target, and I know my ATR for my risk. I can look for one ATR on a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart and know how to build a bar like a Unirinco bar with that size using 1 or 1.5 ATR. You'll see that in a second. And once you get all of that set up, you can use, the mean to set your stop loss behind a VWAP or an LR1 or EMA or a 60-minute halfback. But you can also use the ATR and the profit targets, and you have a complete system. It's just fantastic. So here is what it looks like. This is a screenshot. This is in the live market. We'll be looking at the live market in just a second. But this is basically what it looks like. And this was a screenshot from the other day when the market started selling off. And I guess that was the 19th, it looks like. So last week. What day was that? Yeah, Friday, last Friday. So pretty recent. But you can see what I'm talking about. All the solvers turn solid color, just allowing you to really press that trade and sit in there and grab those profits. And as you can see, the opening range indicator shows the Globex real well. That's in purple. The 1-hour initial balance is in the yellow. And I've even got a 1-minute initial balance in red that the market will respect. So I've got my opening range levels. I've got my LRT lines indicator. So when price starts breaking out of these levels, coming back to test it, we'll know what to do with a candle close back down in the direction of the trade, in the direction of that initial impulse move, especially when we have the market analyzer, giving us the confidence to stay in the trade. And now with a new quantitative method of taking my profit targets, I'll know exactly how to use that to know how much room to reach for. And like I was explaining to my members in the trade room, ATR is not the same every day. I wish it were. Our jobs, we would all be on Fiji every weekend celebrating. We would be so wealthy if ATR was always the same. But you can get an indication from a short-term time frame between your morning trading session hours of what that range is, and then use chunks out of that 1, 2, and 3 for the profit targets to shoot for trades profits. So let me see if I can figure out how to put the chart up. Here we go. This was from the other morning's session. I just wanted to show you this as an example of the indicator. You can see we came out of Globex when we opened, walked sideways for just a little bit, and then broke the Globex. And that's what I've been trading, that Globex breakout. And it's so simple with Blackbird to set this up, or excuse me, Bloodhound, my apologies. It's easy in Blackbird too. We'll look at that in a second, but it really just takes one or two solvers. So I use the Heikin-Ashi bar instead of a regular bar close. And that's super simple to put together a comparison solver with Heikin-Ashi. And the same thing with the Bloodhound solver. You just put a comparison solver of your bar close with the opening range indicator and set that up to take the Globex high and Globex low, put your time period on. Right now I'm offering the Central Time and Eastern Time. Sorry for my customers over there in Europe trading the DAX. I don't have the European time on there, but this is for the RTH session for the US at this time. But trade, set it up to trade above or below that level, and that's it. You're done. You've got a Globex breakout. It's that fast and simple. You've got logic boards. You can drop an AND node on it or an OR node. There's other function nodes that we'll look at in just a second for the second solver that we were looking for. But you've got a complete system within literally 2 minutes, 3 minutes of plopping that on a board, something that would take a coder, several hours to put together a little simple system like this. Even if you do code and you're using, NinjaTrader platform to code your own strategies, you still want to get Bloodhound because it's so fast and simple. Why waste a whole afternoon coding something when you can put together your logic together, drag and drop it on the logic board with pretty much 99% of everything that you would want to be looking for anyway, you have access to that you could with coding, and then, frame it out before you code it. You may not even want to code it. You have it together in Bloodhound. So very, very fast, very easy. We have got a LRT line syndicator that provides, it's like the jack of all trades. I've got volatility levels that will show me when price is getting overextended, and it's very, very simple to get that to move back into the value area or back into the range. And how you do that, again, two little simple solvers. You have a method of finding an outside trade. Zach, you don't have any worries with me with my demonstration capabilities. Trust me, I'm not really good at this demonstration stuff, but I'll give it a go here. So you've got your LRT lines indicator. Do this one component at a time. There we go. So you can show a signal when it reaches outside the boundary. You just throw a little extension, one of your function nodes, an signal extender. This is on the ultimate version. If you're going to get Bloodhound, you should get the ultimate version because it gives you the flexibility to create these trading strategies. And when you extend your signals, then you can grab a few more bars, and the default settings is pretty much, what I find works. Certainly if the bar isn't going to reverse within, 1 or 2 or 3 bars, by the time that signal comes in, you're probably not going to get a reversion to the mean. It would just stay outside that level anyway. and then you put your Heikin-Ashi indicator on it, same Heikin-Ashi that we saw before. And if we invert that Heikin-Ashi, you can see then that I've got the signal where I want it to be on the right bars now, but it's still not in the right direction. It's showing short when the bars are going long. And so they have this long short modifier. You can use that and you just plop that on your leader. So it's just drag and drop logic. You just connect the leaders up. This default setting is called swap, and it swaps your signal. Very easy. There's other settings in here that you can use for other things like setting, putting together an inflection or something like that. There you can use an addition or a product or something like that. But for this purpose, I mean, we're done. Signal is ready. If you want to just have one signal and not four, you can put a signal blocker on here. Signal blocker. And there you go. You're down to one signal. And that's all you need, right? That's the one. We're done. So literally within just a couple of minutes with this product, you can put together a package, a system to trade these indicators, and you can use this on Bollinger Bands. You can do the same thing on a Keltner channel, but it's all the same. I've got this LRT lines indicator that I use especially for these out-of-bound areas. As well as trend. I've got, pre-packaged indicators all set up with these indicators and others. So I can give you a suite of indicators in the complete package that are already set up. So if you're new to Bloodhound and would like to have a little bit of indicators ready to go, I mean, templates, trading templates ready to go, that you can start using right away, you might want to consider, getting the complete package. But if you like putting together your own trading strategies, the new mini package might be perfect for you because it gives you the market analyzer. Let me show you the market analyzer for today right here. And you can see when there's no activity, the markets are closed right now. So you see a bunch of zeros and the market analyzer showing you that there's no signals. But when it starts going, like I said, it's going to go all green. It's going to light up like a Christmas tree, all red, making it super simple to know what direction to go in. Right here, we have our profit targets 1, 2, and 3. So I come in the morning, I see that the NQ was running 34 points. So when the market opens at 8:30, I'll be looking to see how much room is left from that 7:30 candle. And I'll show you that in just a second on a different chart, and walk you through how I use this with my wrist to set up my bar size. Jeremy and Zach are going to walk you through Blackbird on Friday. They're going to go through a comprehensive demonstration, so I'm not going to take time to show you the ins and outs of the GUI of this. I just really wanted just to show it to you really quick because it's so simple. It's a very easy, simple, designed, well thought out platform, money management, many, many things that they'll walk you through all of this, setting up trailing rules, how easy it is to set up a custom trailing strategy or a chart. Anything that you can think of, basically you can do with this this platform. So getting Bloodhound to give you your trade signals, and then using a platform to trade it, whether you're just going to use the platform to manage your risk or to automate your trades by automating the signals that you trade. one of my customers asked me earlier in the week, have I ever put together a strategy to just trade these, out of bound areas? And I said, yeah, wait till the presentation. I'm going to show you how super simple it is to put it together. So you could literally put this like on a larger time frame. I know that I've got this on a 5-minute chart, but put it on a 15-minute or 30-minute chart. Go back and back test it and see how it works for you. That's the beauty of this. This is on a 5-minute chart. I just ran the back test before we started. It doesn't trade that often. It very very few times will the trades go outside the lines. So it's either going to work out right away or you're going to get your trade. So you might have a lot of losers because it might keep you in that might go out of bounds, come back in, and then continue a trend continuation. So you might get a couple of losers right in a row, but the winners are so much bigger than the losers that it ends up being profitable. This was over the last 20 trades over 1 month period between June 24th and July on a 5-minute chart and NQ. So, I mean, the beauty of having Bloodhound and Blackbird is that you can come up with a strategy, and then back test it, see how it operates, see if it's profitable, and then go back and tweak it with your other process. I mean, you want to figure out if something's even going to work to begin with, and then you can go back, and I was mentioning earlier, look at your analysis for it, look at your off days, see what those look like. So you'd want to go and look at July 7th, July 11th, and July 13th to see why those days didn't work out for the strategy. So we'll do that right now, the 7th, 11th, and 13th. Put this. But in fact, let me get a bigger chart so we can see it easier. Right here, 15-minute, all right. 7th, 11th, and 13th. And you will probably see that those were trend days. So here's the 11th. So here was the one loser. So we got the signal. See how it closed outside but came back in. So there was one loser. There's not much you can, except for to say, I'm not going to take the trade if it goes right into resistance. That's one of my rules. Don't trade into resistance. And there's your trend filter. So you may not have even put the trade on to begin with in this case. So you could have saved that one, but that's what I'm talking about. Go back, and here's another one that didn't work out, went back in. So you can see that you're going to get some losers on these, but the losers are contained, whereas the winners will allow you to make the profits from it. I had it on a 5-minute chart. We weren't testing a 15-minute chart, but this system of trading with the market analyzer, day trading during the day. Put the let's back up right here. This is your Bible for me, making sure that I trade in the direction of the higher time frame trend, momentum, and linear regression. The range and the PC, this is when it's outside a 15-minute range, above or below the prior close, prior high, and you know whether to be, involved in the market and which direction to go to, hopefully. And then with this profit target, you come in the morning and you see it's 34.25. So this morning we came into the market and we got our first targets, or it reached the first target. So here's the 7:30 time frame. Here, let's see. Try to get it pretty close. There we go. So there's your 7:30 time frame. So you take your ruler and you move up and see where that 34.25 is. And you see that it is just under the prior day high. So I told people, and I said that prior day high is our first target. So the market opened this morning and went straight to our first target, right? But then it went into the consolidation, and it actually went up and got the second target too today. Where's the market analyzer? Second target was 50.50, R1. 47, 75, and 50, 50. So we got both targets and more. Today the market's got exuberant. Facebook had some good earnings, right? So Facebook is going to have the NASDAQ making new highs, already has, right? So you never know what you're going to get. If you have earnings coming out, you got to keep abreast of what, especially earnings week, what's happening and any news that may affect the market. But trading a directional strategy versus a reversion to the mean, you have to, the indexes are a reversion to the mean market, but today was a trend day and not a reversion to the mean day. But knowing what you're operating with, and the market analyzer tells us that. This morning, the markets were a little bit flat at first, but then pretty quickly they went all green. And it was very easy to tell that this was a trend day, and it went all the way up, all green, all green. So green on the screen, that's what we like to see. I've got a few other templates here. I've got this on a 1 minute. I wanted to show you that 1 minute opening range. I color it in red. I just put an extra opening range indicator on it. And if the market, I use it like a pivot. If the market is going to stay long, it stays above that 1 minute range, interestingly. And that's something that's been very helpful for me also. But I love this opening range indicator with the JATS LRT lines. So I'm really, really happy with this process. With the market analyzer, with my profit targets, with my risk. For my bars, you'll see that the risk was showing at 850 for 1R. I call it 1R, 1 ATR. So I'm just using a 14 period ATR, which is standard. I guess people don't change it to a 20. Or whatever you want to use, a 10 period. I just kept it on 14. So you want to take a look and see what that 850 looks like. That's 34 ticks. That's pretty small for the NQ. So if you want to do a 1.5 ATR, that's 51 ticks. So you can set your bar size to 51, and that's what I do. Is I'll set up a Rinko to that 51 tick, so I'll match that risk. And once I've got my bar matched to that ATR, then I can come in and match it. And then I'm looking for, if I'm going long, I have my market analyzer. I have my opening range indicator. I'm on one screen, and then have this chart on a second screen for an entry chart. And you can time these entries and really nail them on your other templates. So, many, many ways to come in and get long in these markets. It's just don't make the mistake of making the bar size too small. When you make the bar size too small, you're going to get knocked out. You've got to be able to put a little bit of risk on. And like I said, if you match that 5 minute candle risk and set your bar size to it, you're going to find that it's going to give you a lot of opportunities. So check that out. And got some other settings in here. This inflections long will keep you out of the chop. So anytime it gets choppy up and down, you won't trade that section or wait till it settles back into the pattern. Or if you just know that you want to go long, set it on high-low. And I've got my high-low 2, which I love. There's that 8.5 point risk. I set the bar size again to the 1.5 ATR. So I set up my bar size this way also, and I can enter on the pullbacks. So I set the same bar size as it is here. It's just portrayed differently. So you can really see when the market pulls back into the value area. And that's what the market makers do. They'll send it up and then pull it back in. And so you can set up these trades. Let me pull this ruler back over here. Hang on one second. Pull this over here and show you what I mean. So if I'm trading threes, I can take that 1R and use that as the stop loss profit target, or I can use, make it 51 and make it 1.5R. So you can, adjust your risk to your ATR and your market analyzer, and get into the market. Ben trades the twos and gets more trades that way. So pick up the 2 here, and it's a way to mitigate your risk when you're inside a trade. So you wait for the price to come back in a little bit, and this strategy in Blackbird will get you in. I don't know where that highlighter is on this, Keith. I forgot to ask you about that. But you can get in on these signals on the trigger lines, exactly on the trigger line. And that way you know precisely where you're going to be entering. And you can decide with the market analyzer if you're going to, take that trade or not. But you can really see those pullbacks. You can see inside the price action really well with this template. And otherwise, I've got a host of other package indicators to choose from to help with planning your trades, an indicator suite of starter trading templates for you that we use. And that is about it. I'm very, very pleased. It's like, working on something for so many years and putting something together that's your own. Definitely unique with my linear regression. Really, really helpful. I don't know if you can, see that these lines are bounded and they keep price contained within those bounds. So it's like having a football field with the out of bound areas on it. So very helpful for you to plan those targets, especially if they are in confluence with an R1 or an S1 or a prior day high. We all have the same lines that we're bouncing off of. Prior day open, high, low, close, a value area, high, low, value high, value low, yesterday VWAP, stuff like that. So this 60-minute halfback, the 1-minute opening range is my contribution to those lines. We see in the trade room all the time that they are respected. So some good levels for you. For this mini package, I'm offering a special. You can get the monthly mini for $129. That would give you the Bloodhound templates on the market analyzer, the market analyzer template, the 2 indicators, the LRT lines indicator and the opening range indicator. The 2 indicators are always on my chart now. And those 2 chart templates, well, the chart template, one set up for NQ, one set up for crude. Those are the 2 markets we primarily trade in the trade room because they run, the ranges are much better than the ES because we're looking for that range expansion. We want to be able to go in and grab the market when it's moving. And the trade room, so $129 a month, and you can code your own, use Bloodhound to code your own trading strategies with that. And like I showed you, so super simple. You just drag and drop the logic on it, and you're done in a couple of minutes. I'll be glad to show you those templates in the trade room tomorrow for anyone that would like to know exactly what those solvers look like. If you're new to Bloodhound, this is an excellent time to go over to try it out. You can try it for 30 days. Shark Indicators has a sale on right now through August 1st. And this is Shark Indicators product. They will give you the 30 days to decide if you like it. So test it out. Do kick the tires. This is a perfect time to do so. And then you can use the mini trial, the monthly mini trial, which is $129, which is not refundable. But you do have the 30 days to try Bloodhound out. If you don't like it, don't purchase the Bloodhound. Send me an email and cancel it, and I'll make sure Shark Indicators doesn't process your order. If you do like it, keep it, which we hope you do, because it's a wonderful product. I know that you're going to love it. I love it. I mean, I hope you love it. And then you can either order a new monthly mini or upgrade to a annual package or the complete package, up to you, or no package, but you'd have some great software. So it's always nice to have, some trade signals to test out a product with. So I've got you, I think, a great little package of starter templates, which are coded for the market analyzer. So you'll have a month to be able to see how this works inside the market analyzer and see if you like it, and then get used to using my strategy for the profit targets 1, 2, and 3 and the risk, the way we do it, and set our bar size up and how we go in and trade this, the crude market in the NQ, in the trade room. So definitely something to think about, I hope. And I hope you enjoy this framework that I've put together, and can take advantage of it. If you want to email us, here's our email address, support@jauto Trading Strategies. You can check out our Facebook page, like us on Twitter. And that is about it. If y'all have any questions, let me know, or if I can show you more examples of any of the indicators or solvers that you can do with this. Keith, let me see if I can find the questions here. Where did the Q&A go? There it is. Back test and forward test, let me show you that. Blackbird does it. I back test and forward test in Blackbird with Bloodhound templates. And you are able to use that in the Blackbird platform itself. So when you come in to apply it, Blackbird is called a strategy, because that's how the platform is put inside the NinjaTrader platform. So when you first enable a strategy, let me disable it, and then we'll re-enable it. When you first enable it, you can check backtest. You don't use backtest just regular trading. You don't want to have all that data running. But when you first want to check out a solver, so you've come in, you've built your solver, and you want to come in and test it, you start the strategy by enabling it, check that backtest button, hit apply. Blackbird will start and be added to your chart. And then you can, let's see, it's already, close that order out. It's a historical order there. That's something historical in the, a historical order, a winner for one of my trades. But then you come into the platform and select the entry signal that you want to test. And that was the opening range. So that's why I'm showing that winner went up from the initial signal. And back test it. It's super simple. It takes just literally a few seconds. You can right click it, run your strategy performance, real time and historical, and it shoots out that back test. And that way you can come in and examine it. Study your outliers. You want to see, you want to prove to yourself, do I have something that's going to work? You know, if I, you know, and this is great for my indicator. So it's like, if I'm going to trade a Globex breakout, how often will they work? You know, and then you can go in and drill down and say, well, what happened that day to make that breakout successful? And so you can go in and see the market conditions. You might want to go back and look at the investing.com calendar, see if there was, you know, any fundamentals or, you know, economic reports that affected the trade. And then you might want to test that, you know, trading the Globex midband and not just the, let me take the strategy off real quick so I can show you guys. You know, you just don't want to test one thing. So you always remove it, enable it, and then remove it. But you may not want to just test the Globex breakout, which is the breakout of the high-low. You can see how well the markets respond to these Globex levels. And that's why I put them on my chart. I mean, I took a lot of time and energy for me to decide what do I want on my chart for an entry order opportunity. And I think I came up with some really good ones. So you've got plenty of levels to trade off of. Globex high, the initial balance high, and you can control what you're seeing here on this indicator. You can control your time frame, and if you do want to take, you know, 1 minute range versus a put yeah package on right here. Let me hang on 1 second. Template, I mean, here's the 1 minute range right here, and you could trade the 1 minute range. You know, test how many times if it breaks out of the 1 minute range. I have a you know, pre-built my own indicators for the templates. I mean, I keep saying indicators, pre-built templates, starter templates for you. Tested the opening range Globex, the initial balance range. I've set up reversals. What happens if it goes outside the range, comes back in, because that's what a index does. It doesn't break out a lot. Sometimes it'll just go outside the range and come back in. You know, I've got ways to set that up and get signals for it. Different trading templates all set up for you using the indicators. So, but you can test these. You know, what if I want to, you know, take a bounce off the Globex? You know, what if you want to take, you know, when price comes up to the Globex midline and just, you know, take a bounce trade up? A lot of people are scalpers, you know. Maybe you're not looking to take, you know, 50 ticks or 80 ticks every time. Maybe you just want to come in and get 20 ticks and get in and get out. Using a strategic location, you know, to base those decisions on, you know, is fantastic, because we're bouncing off the same lines. There's not that many of them. You know, I could probably make a short list of all the lines that are normally bounced on a day-to-day basis. I mean, repeating those bounces. Zach's got some good training videos on how to trade bounces. Y'all might want to look at that in his prior videos by using the support resistance solver. So you could use the support resistance solver and set up bounce trades with this indicator very easily. I just put a inflection solver on it and trade inflections off of it, but same thing. It's very repeatable. So if you get used to the linear regression, I've got templates on here for trend trading and counter trend trading. But we're geared, my focus really is that morning session, because ideally, we don't want to be driving downtown. We don't want to be in that traffic. We want to be able to consistently make a profit every day, and having a systematic process that's quantifiable, using the quantifiable process, putting those things together with an order entry system. It's not rocket science. We're just, trying to figure out how much profit is available, where is price opening in relation to the prior day range, and how much opportunity is there for us today. And some days it's not even worth trading. You can just look at the market and say, there's no way I'm going to get involved in that. Just stay out of it, sit on your hands, let it go. So hey Heinz, how are you doing? Yeah, Heinz, you don't have to, if you've already got Bloodhound and Blackbird, come back in the trade room, Heinz. I'd love to see you. Check us out for a month. Absolutely. Let me put the website up so y'all understand this. You don't have to, if you already, this is, really geared for Bloodhound users that are existing Bloodhound users. That's for you. That's what I had in mind. You get my two indicators. You get the LRT lines indicator and the Globex, the opening range indicator, with the market analyzer template that gives you the profit targets, and the Bloodhound templates for the market analyzer and the trade room. So absolutely. So pick that up right here. Get you a monthly mini and come check us out. Or, what you should do, Heinz, is just go ahead and purchase an annual mini and come back to the room. Yep, absolutely. I'll see you soon. That'd be nice. How have you been doing? Heinz is an old customer of ours and lives over there in Switzerland. Always crack up when I see his vacation videos, pictures that he posts. He takes some really nice vacations. Love to chat with you. Love to have you come back in the room and trade with us. Absolutely. So I think I've come a long way. When Heinz was in the room, like I said, I had the weekly daily 60-15 down pretty good, and we were just trading that. And it's really, really helped me complete this process by putting the profit targets on it, and being able to now hit those first profit targets pretty regularly. And we may not get the full amount because the market's already been open 1 hour, but we'll know exactly how much is left to trade to and can nail it when we get a directional movement down. So yeah, absolutely, come check us out. So stop by the website. It's the tab is right here, Shark Week 2019 registration and new mini package. Check it out, get a package. And again, if you're not a Bloodhound customer, there's no better time to come in and get a package. This special is on for shark indicators through August 1st. So make sure to don't hesitate too long for that purchase decision. But through August 1st, the shark indicator special will be up. And I think I have a link I can show you for the shark indicator. Hang on 1 second. Got something going on with this. No, hey, here it is. Hey, there it is. Fireworks. I like that. That's key. You need to show me how to get a firework on my page. Very nice. Shark Week sale through August 1st, August 2nd, whatever that date is, and take advantage of these sales prices. Very, very good discounts. And that's about it. I think there's nobody. I guess everybody's out at Tequila Day today. When I saw that it was 20, July 24th is National Tequila Day. I said, "Oh, I know where everybody is." So, do I have any other questions left? No, I
Hey,
think I'm.
Julie,
Uh-huh.
do you have the chat panel up?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay, so there have definitely been some questions in there.
Oh, thank
Um,
you. Hang on one second. Let me
if
see
you
if I can
scroll
find
up and
that.
start with all the questions start with John's comment that he says this was an excellent presentation. So
Oh, well, thank you. Usually I don't know. I think I'm probably the worst presenter out of all of them. Everybody else does a better job, but I try. I've been really trying to do better. But I mean, the product sells itself. I'm just, like I said, I'm so happy to be here for the next few years. Um, Working on, I've worked really hard putting this together, and now I don't know how to get to that Q&A. Where is it?
it's chat under more,
Hmm.
so it'll be more.
Oh, there it is. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I had to go to the more
no
button.
worries. It's kind of
Okay.
in a weird spot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm so glad to have put this all together and then, have the next 10 years to trade it. So ATR is average true range. ATR, somebody's asking, what does ATR stand for? Average true range. And that's just a standard methodology that traders use for risk. So you can put 1R on, and on the NQ, you can see it was 8.5 points for a 5-minute chart. And so I put a multiplier on that of 1.5 or 2, depending upon the volatility in the market. So take a look at your daily ATR, which is over here. That's your daily ATR. So you could see during the daily session, 100 points were available. Out of my trade time in the morning, 34 points were available. And so when you multiply 34 times 4, you realize that you're looking at 136 ticks that are available at $5 a tick. So that's $680 that are available in the morning for us on one contract to put in our pockets. So the risk at 8.5 times 4, that's 34 ticks. Times 5, that's 170. So $170 risk for $680 profit. So that's why it's so important to always know right here what our quantitative opportunities are, and just visualizing it on the board has been like eye-opening for me, the way I've got this laid out now. So I know in my time frame that I'm interested in trading 1, 2, and 3, I can start out just looking for that first target, and like we're nailing those left and right, and it's wonderful. So know how much risk to put on, and then you could tuck that risk behind either a VWAP or, my linear regression indicator. Um, that trend line acts as a mean or median. Right here, the white line, that's like a mean or median. It balances the trend. So you can tuck your stop behind that, or you can, like I said, use your ruler on that other, there's other ways to slice and dice data to, get very specific with your locations. There's your 8.5 points. So if you just wanted to trade the threes right here, you know, you can see what this would be like, and you're trying to get, again, a one-on-one. So both of those were winners. Or I like the this method of putting the bar together and then going in and getting a reversal in my direction. So that would be reversal long. And that's what we want. Heinz, you remember the high-low 1 template. You were with me when I created that. So I've kept that. I pretty much used the high-low 1 when you were with me with the market analyzer that was my system with the weekly, daily, 60, 15, and now I've really built this out. So I'm so happy about that. Just, putting a process together and sticking to the process, as the members in my trade room tell me. If I make mistakes trading, it's because I've gone off the reservation. I stopped trading my own system. I stopped trading my own signals. And I always get in trouble when I do that. So, um, having a process it's just been wonderful. It's just been very helpful. The ES, I don't, because it got so narrow. I mean, it used to just trade so narrowly. It didn't give me as much range. I know people are afraid of the NQ because they think it's so volatile. Um, and I understand that it can, and I can tell when that volatility comes out and gives you like a really big, gigantic, bar. It's very scary to trade the NQ. Can be very, wide. That's why the minis are wonderful. Um, the minis are very tradable for NQ, and I would recommend that if you're starting out on NQ to start out with the minis. MNQ, the same thing. It's the same points. It's the same price, but it's on a much cheaper. It's 10 times less the price. So it makes it extremely easy to get adapted to these markets and trading them. When you trade the ES, it was so the volatility is straightened out a little bit better, and you're getting a little bit better ranges now, but it was so flat and doing nothing most of the time, and this is so typical of what you just get nothing. So I just get fed up with it. And no, the answer is no. I don't trade ES. Um, risk reward preferences for this strategy? I have two strategies. The LRT line strategy. First, I've got several strategies. I've got a trend strategy. I've got a counter trend strategy. Let me show you the counter trend so that y'all can see this. It is fantastic. Let me get the opening range indicator off of here. So that's a trend. So I've got a template set up for trend, and you know that it's trending. The market analyzer will tell you. So basically, just go long, right? And so you've got a volatility line to trade. I use the market analyzer for a trend to tell me where I want that risk to be. So I'll want to use, I want to see what 1R is, but I'll always do like a 1.5 or a 2R when trading. And if the bars are wider, like you need to be watching your daily ATR. If the bars are widening out and starting to go for those targets, then you might want to widen your risk up in a trend to allow for the pullbacks and the trend continuations. The indexes do not trend as much as crude does. Crude is your trending market. So I'm always suspect of a trend in the NQ. But um, the ATR, that's what ATR is. And for the strategy for the LRT lines, it's very close. You don't have to do a wide risk reward amount. You can just do a 1 ATR basically, because the target is either the trend filter or the LRT line, the main trend line, that main LR1. So that's your reward right there, the middle of the go back to the mean. And occasionally you'll get a coast to coast, is what happened here. You went outside and you went and touched that top band. So you see how the traders trade this. And that football field is valid on all time frames. You will be pleasantly surprised. So you put this on a 30-minute time period or a 15-minute time period, you're going to see that price respects these volatility levels a lot. A lot. That's when it goes back in. So your risk reward for this is different than an opening range. For opening range, You want to know how much you have available to trade to on your market analyzer. So you'll be able to see really quick for any market, you know, what your opportunities are. And this is for the morning session, just the morning session. So if you had 50 points available, hello, that's 200 ticks at $5 a tick. That's $1,000 for the morning session on one contract. So that's the full ATR for the morning session. But I usually just try to get a chunk out of that. I'm very happy when I get my 1 and 2 profit targets. I don't need to go for the third one. Some people say, am I leaving money on the table? Well, you now know what the table is. I mean, to me, that was eye-opening. Just knowing that what the table is, knowing where your out-of-bound areas are. So definitely worth checking out. Excellent introduction. Okay, well, thank you, Heinz. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, all of you guys. So I think I'm out of questions. I appreciate all the compliments. I know that it's scary getting into a new process, but I got to tell you the genius of what Jeremy's done. He couldn't have made it easier to drag and drop your logic. It is so super simple. You just, plop, if you can connect a leader, if you can point one block and then point to the other block, it connects itself and you've connected, point A to point B. So you just have to think logically. You've got ands and ors, and you can manipulate price to make it, inverted, or, swap price around. There's lots of, fun things that you can do. And like I said, there's a ton of videos. I mean, Zach's done a wonderful job. Every week he's got a workshop, and he allows you to come into the workshop. He allows you to send him questions in advance. So you can say, I want to do a Keltner channel, this or that, and how do I do it? And if you send him the email in advance to support@sharkindicators.com, sign up for the workshop and say, hey, for the next Bloodhound workshop, will you please do this? 9 out of 10 times, if he doesn't already have a bunch of requests, he will get to it, or otherwise he'll put it on the list and tell you he'd cover it the next time. But he takes a lot of time. He's very patient and very good at explaining. And plus, everything's recorded. You just go on the website. You could probably just Google search, um, whatever you can think of on their site and for training videos, and you probably find it. So or he'll show you. And the same thing with Blackbird. They put together a wonderful GUI. It's very simple, it's very intuitive, and I think it's very easy. So they'll make it easy if it's kind of complicated for you to do a few things with the trailing stuff, but they'll work you through it. And go to like I said, a workshop. Zach will get you covered so that he'll make sure you understand it in no time flat. So check it out. I mean, what would, I don't know why you wouldn't want to check it out. So I'm like, I don't know why everybody's not using this product. It's wonderful. So thank you so much, guys, for letting me come and show you my system. I've worked very hard to try to come up with something. Here's that 1 minute range. I mean, I've built my own little strategy. I've also got gap runs. So there was no gap run today, but I've got, if there's a gap run, I've got you covered for a, pre-packaged template. I also have, pre-packaged templates putting together this stuff. I've got a reversal, like I said before, what happens when it goes outside the range and reverses. So like you can back test all of these and see what works, look at the outliers. So I mean, I wasn't planning to show you all of this, my regular templates, but I've got starter templates for you that are already pre-programmed. Like I like that Globex range on the crude. I like these gap runs and the counter ranges. on the equity indexes, and I like the 1 minute range on the equity on the NQ to get to my first target. This one went all the way to the third target, but these are my little trading templates, or just starter templates, or they're great to have when you buy a product. It's nice to have some trading templates already there ready for you. So that's what it's for. And then you go through your process of learning. You have plenty of time to learn it, come up with your own logic or your own ideas. You might like the stochastic indicator, or you might like MACD, or you might like something else. So plenty of time to test it all out. If you can go inside your indicator list, anything that you can find in here, 9 out of 10 times, if it's a standard NinjaTrader indicator, you're going to be able to test it. And most of the plots to the proprietary indicators are also opened. So my indicators are proprietary. You'll get your own folder with my stuff in it, and you can go in and my indicators are codable through Blackbird or through NinjaTrader. So the plots are exposed so you can access these levels and come up with your own strategies. But we try to cover your bases either way. So don't be afraid to try it and join, like I said, the training session that Zach gives you. And you've got Mike over there to help if you run into any snags with the product. Just send the support a ticket and they'll get with you shortly. And Keith will work with you on keeping you advised of events that come up and other partner presentations. And be sure, like I said, come back Friday, because Zach and Jeremy are going to show you Blackbird from beginning to end. You'll be well understood about Blackbird and understand all that. So let me see, I've got one last message. Julie, it was the best webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. My contact information, I've got a website, J Auto Trading Strategies, right there. And the email is, here, I've got that on the slide.
And Julie, could you copy and paste that URL into the chat so people can click on it and bookmark
Absolutely,
it?
absolutely.
Sounds like quite a few of these people seem like they're interested and they want to
Oh,
do.
yeah, absolutely. And you should, I mean, I don't know why everyone is not using these products. They're the best. I mean, like I said, Jeremy needs the Academy Award for retail traders. I'm voting for him. How do you pop it in? Okay, here. There is the website, and here is the, there you go. There you go. Oh, I sent it to panelists. How do I send, oh, to everybody? I'm sorry. Let me redo it. Oh, you did it. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that.
I messed it. Go ahead and do it yourself. I messed it up. It didn't.
Oh, okay. If y'all are going to come up with a company, don't do what I did and put 100 characters in it, the name. But anyway, here is the website. There you go. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's not me that you like. I think you're responding to the product, and you should. It is a great product. Here is the way to go in. You've signed up for mine. Make sure to sign up for next coming up. You've got a few more. You've got Lizard Trader, fantastic indicators. I mean, they've got you some great indicators to use for lines to bounce off of. I highly, highly recommend them. They will, do you right. I think they're probably one of the best. Stephanie is coming up Friday. She will get you some, she's got some things for the equity indexes that she uses for managing correlations between the markets. But here's the big one. Don't forget to register for July 26th, 3:30. And they'll walk you through Blackbird. Everything you want to, I mean, it is amazing. So definitely check it out. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the trade room. Pick up the package, pick up an indicator I think that mini package is nice, or get the full package. That's one of my most popular seller, the full package. That way you've got a library of templates already pre-coded. So you buy Bloodhound, you might as well get some templates, right, to start out with while you're building your own. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Keith.
Thanks, Julie. One last question. Someone was asking, do you really need Blackbird to use this? What would you say to that?
Well, no, start out discretionary trading. You don't have to buy everything at once. The reason I was, pointing you to the website for the sale was because it's on sale, but they're going to have a sale periodically. They don't do them that often, but maybe twice a year. So there will be another opportunity to get in at that price. But absolutely, I know that it can be a chunk of change to come up all at once, which is understandable. You can certainly use Raven to trade signals. You can trade one signal at a time in Raven, or you can discretionary trade this in the order management with NinjaTrader. In fact, my indicators, if you, am I connected to the data feed? Let me put the chart template on here. In fact, guys, you can put let me put the chart trader on hidden. Then you can plop an order on the chart. So let's say I want a sell order up there, and the market's closed right now, so there's no orders. But say I wanted to attach it to the LR1. I can right click it, go to indicator, attach to indicator properties. So my indicator is on there. You can attach to any indicator on your chart, an EMA, the LR1. So if I wanted to attach it to the LR1, I could hit OK, and boom, the order goes to the LR1. And it will just sit there and wait for price to get up there and hit it and then go short if I was going short. You can, attach it to an EMA, just disable it, and then go back and attach it to a different indicator. So you can do it that way, so that you sort of have a little bit of precision coming in. So when any indicator that's on your chart, you should be able to attach an order to it that way, or just use the NinjaTrader has a great ATM. Put the chart trader up there so you can see it fully. Of course, if you're used to NinjaTrader, you know the chart trader, and you can create your own ATM strategies right here by controlling your risk. So you would come into the trade room, you would see that we had um, eight, 8.5 points of risk. So you would just multiply that by 4, and that's 34 for one stop loss. So you just pop in your 34. If you wanted to get 1.5 ATR, make it a little bit wider, put 51. So you would know your risk, and then you can likewise create your profit target by doing a 1-on-1 or a 1.5 or 2-on-1. You can get multiple targets with this by adding a row. Stop strategies, as you know, the ATM will allow you to customize and drag a stop or trail by using the ATM parameters. So there's a way to trade this discretionarily, and that's fine. I mean, in fact, you may want to, wait and just discretionary trade. Always sim trade. I'm glad you said something, because you should never just go out of the gate and trade somebody else's strategy until you understand what it's doing and why you're doing it and how it operates. But you always sim trade when you first start out with something new. So you're going to be sim trading anyway when you begin learning it, and making sure that you've got everything down and understand what you're looking for slope, how price responds when it gets outside of a level, what to look for when price gets outside of one of these levels. Is it going to break out and run? A 1-minute chart is going to act differently than a 5-minute chart. So there's some things that you need to get used to with it. But here's my package. I mean, my indicator already coded in. My template, I keep saying, I'm sort of acting like I can't talk anymore, but Yeah, use the ATM. There's nothing wrong with that. Start discretionary, come back and add to your library of shark indicator products later. Yep. They even have a couple of template packages that they can starter templates that they can get to you. So you'll have plenty to choose from. Plus, they have other vendors that have other systems and packages. So there's plenty of products out there to choose from, and you can build your own. That's the important thing, is you can build your own. Hey, Michael, how are you? Good. Yeah, he has Bloodhound. Nice. Yeah, build your own. Get used to it. That's the important part, is you need to start learning how to put together your own stuff. And that's the purpose of the product to begin with, is you put your destiny in your own hands too. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. They're out of questions. Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you for letting me show you my process. I think that if you do check it out, that you will I hope you like it as much as we seem to enjoy it in the room. And come join us. I mean, nice group of guys. Got some girls in there now, which I like. So finally got some girls in the room. So that's good, and a nice group of people. So come check us out anytime. Thank you so much. And Heinz, I would really like to chat with you and see how you've been doing. So we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Julie. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in. And to expand just real quick on what you were saying earlier, when you stick with your plan, you do well generally. But when you go off base and start doing your own thing, that's where the psychology comes in, and that's sort of the whole point of the products that we make, Bloodhound and Blackbird, the things that you've been talking about most of this session. They force you to take a step back and decide in advance, okay, what am I actually doing? Why am I doing it? Why am I entering here? Why am I taking this trade? Why am I moving my stop this way, etc. And so
Exactly.
if you can plan out and kind of, because a lot of people do these things very sort of high level, very intuitively, like they kind of know what they're doing. And if they follow it, if they've got enough sleep and they're well fed, they've been exercising, they can do well, but they're not a computer.
Right.
And it's funny when you start playing with Bloodhound, especially for the first time, because that's what most people start with, right? Bloodhound, creating your trade signals. When they start playing with it for the first time, you start realizing that you haven't really thought through every detail of your trade systems and why you're doing what you're doing. And so I love that Julie was talking about, you put a lot of emphasis on personal responsibility. You go through this, you gotta make sure to test it, run through sim a lot, really kind of build up that confidence and understanding of exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. So it sounds
Well
like
said.
Julie has a lot of really good ways to get started if you're brand new to Bloodhound, or if you have it and you just want to start working on a system that she has clearly put a lot of work into. Whether it fits your style or not, that's up to you. But that's why we've got the Shark Week, is to kind of introduce you to a wide variety of ideas. And it sounds like from some of the comments from more than one person here, a lot of people really appreciated your presentation. So as she said, we've got 2 more tomorrow, and then of course the finale. She gave you a sneak preview at our sale, actually, coming up on Friday for Blackbird. That's come on in, learn more about what we do, and then you can make your own decision whether you want to get stuff from one of these partners or just the core products directly from us. And you can go from there.